G'day, Costa Zulio with you on thebreakdown.net. And I've got a very good mate with me today, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to call it Grumpy Jukebox, because we're both grumpy old men, and you'd probably remember him from Triple J. You remember him from a lot of different places, but it's my very good pleasure to welcome Francis Leach to thebreakdown.net. How you going, mate?
Cozzy, Grumpy Nation, how are we?
I'm all right. So, what a great thing now. It feels like we've come full circle here, mate. You're back on the radio.
I know, who knew? Yes, I'm doing overnights. I'm going back to doing a few midnight to dawns, or as they are known in the industry, the graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift.
National ABC radio overnights. It's great fun, though. I haven't been on the radio as a host or broadcaster for 8 years. Been doing other things. But this opportunity came up. I thought, I kind of like being on the radio. I've got a big mouth, got plenty to say. There's some people who might want to hear it. So why the hell not?
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here as well, isn't it? We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about art. We're going to talk about books, everything that we want to talk about, and hopefully that you want to listen to out there in the breakdown.net land.
Or read, watch and wear. Cozzy's fashion tips must be in here too.
Can't you see? I've still got I've got my screen feeder burn out your name shirt, so it's not an original. That. I have to say that, because the original shrunk. Arsenal, yeah. Did they win again? Did they win the championship?
They were in the Champions League final, qualified on Wednesday morning. So, and clear at the Premier League table with 2 points, and hopefully going to win one, if not both trophies, which would be special. Not for you, because you're a Spurs fan.
I'm a Spurs fan, and, at least we won a trophy while Andrew's there. What's happened?
Yeah.
We need Ange back.
Bring back... Well, it's a Greek conspiracy.
It is. I'd like to know where he's from, because, the Postacoglu and the Zulu, I wonder if he's a Cypriot lad as well.
That's a good question. I'll try and find out and report back for you.
That'd be nice, mate. You could probably find it on that internet thing.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, yeah, the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. All right, so give us a bit of a rundown on what has been grabbing you, Francis Leach.
Well, first thing I want to bring up is the new album by Kneecap, Northern Irish lads who but taking the world by storm in lots of different ways with their rather sometimes confrontational but very funny approach to hip-hop. The film that they made was extraordinary. So I don't know if you've seen Kneecap, the film, which talks about their sort of their growing up and the band coming together and becoming successful. One of their great rock films, rock documentaries. I mean, even just the chutzpah of them making a feature film just as their first album came out tells you everything. But the new album, Fenian, and I am a Fenian as a good Irish lad, it leans into what people might describe as their politics and their attitude, because they've taken a lot of stick, Kneecap, the boys out of Belfast, around their very direct and proud celebration and defence of Irish culture and Irish language. And they play with the motifs of provisional army life and the rebel life. So you've got the DJ who wears the tricolour balaclava. The album cover has the balaclava and eye covering with the word Fenian written on it. So all the motifs, I guess, of the struggles are there and the troubles. But it's a way of playing with, I guess, cultural signifiers which might frighten people in the same way that punk did. The same way that sort of punk rock was all about that shocking and pressing the sore point in for people who maybe a little more conservative, a little bit more frightened of these sorts of things. But it's just a great record. Every track punches out at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I love the Irish language. I don't understand a single word when they sing in Irish, but I'm just glad that it exists. And it makes me feel young again. It makes me feel naughty. It's good to have some rebel music back in our lives.
Now, the first time I heard the term Fenian wasn't all that long ago, but it was during a Netflix series called The House of Guinness. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
I know of it. I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. But give us a run, because they were certainly rebels. Back then, they were, punching against the
British occupation. So So it was the first sort of not the first, but in the 19th century sort of incarnation of the Irish Republican movement, and they were determined to take it up to the British occupying forces in Ireland. and they basically championed the survival of Irish culture and language, which the British occupation had put very much at risk. So, in Irish schools in that time, English was taught, the Irish language was dying out, and after the 1916 Easter Rising in Dublin, there was a real crackdown on Irish culture, Irish language. Even the gathering of Irish men in particular was frowned upon in case they were, seemed to be rebel meetings. So there was an attempt to try to scrub Irishness out of Ireland and turn Ireland into another sort of a province of the British Empire and of the United Kingdom itself. So the Fenians were determined and consciously working against that, and that's what they have continued to do. And Fenian itself became an insult that obviously a lot of British politicians and particularly people of political persuasion would use. That Fenian, if you were Fenian, you were a rebel and rebel rouser and a troublemaker and a terrorist. So they've taken that on themselves and embraced it, and that's what they do. They tend to kneecap take on those motifs where they're frowned upon and lean right into them in the same way they have done over their unstinting support for the campaign for ending the war in Gaza and for justice for Palestinians in Gaza, which they've also taken an enormous amount of flack from. You remember Glastonbury last year, where Bob Vylan, the other British band, got in trouble for making statements from the stage that went live on the BBC. Well, Kneecap also got into similar problems at Coachella in the United States because they made similar sorts of statements. Now, whatever your position on that particular issue is what it is, and I'm not trying to convince you one way or another, but I do like to think we can defend their right, particularly as artists, to express themselves in a way as long as it isn't vilifying people or inciting people to violence. And they don't do that. I really love them. I've loved the first album. The energy's fantastic. The humour in it is there too. And they are just fantastic, magnificent shit posters. They really are just really deliberately winding up the right people to wind up, and the people who really hate them, they're saying, here, have some more of this. And I say, all power to you, lads.
All right. Sounds good, mate. Yeah, like I said, we've got to have a little bit more danger in rock and roll. And that kind of brings me to who I'm going to want to have a talk about. You will remember the band Savages, who I think we were both fans, two records.
And then
Silence Yourself in 2013 and Adore Life in 2016.
And then what happened?
Well, they went on hiatus and nothing else happened. As far as I know, they are not around anymore. But Jenny Beth has brought out a few records, but her latest one that came out, it was a second album, kind of late-ish last year. It was called You Heartbreaker You. And it's kind of this post-punk, a bit of electronica in there with crashing guitars and drums. So I think people of Good Things and people of Laneway, you need to get her over here. She's been touring the UK and Europe and doing massive business over there. She was born in France, and the record is fantastic. You Heartbreaker You. The opener is a song called Broken Rib. And it pretty much doesn't let up from there on. It kind of slows down a little bit with a track called Out of My Reach, and then up it goes again. So it's definitely worth, if you like prickly, guitar-driven, female-fronted noise, Jenny Beth is for you. And the latest video, which is a very unhinged collaboration with Mike Patton, it's called Look at Me. Go have a look at that and video and you'll know what I mean. And she also does a cover of Björk's Army of Me. So if you want to have a listen to something that sounds like, Army of Me with loud guitars, there's a recent recording up there as well on the stream. So that's kind of what's new for me. It's not all that new, but I think it's worth people going out and having a listen to it.
And Jenny Beth is bringing back the leather pants as well.
She's got the leather pants, mate. You need to look at that video with Mike Patton because it's...
How would you go on a pair... We are talking fashion and cosy fashion. How would you go on a pair of leather pants? Wearing leather pants in Brisbane, you must have the sweatiest crack on the planet. Do you just hose them out?
It'd be awful. Can you imagine... like you've only got one pair, 3 nights in a row on stage.
Well, there is that. So if you are a man of a certain way and you just, you don't do your washing, you don't really change your sheets for a month at a time, just being able to hose your pants sounds like a really good, a very good use of your time.
A bit of Glen 20?
Glen 20. Who needs Calvin Klein when you've got Glen 20?
Now the Met Gala, mate, speaking of fashion.
Oh, speaking of fashion, this is my what the fuck. Seriously. Look, I know the Met Gala's been, if you don't know, the Met Gala, it's the night of nights in New York City. It's supposed to be a massive charity event. But what it really is an excuse for high society to dress up like there's characters out of a Marvel comic book and really lay it on thick as Jeff Bezos is running this particular event. And for some people, it's just great eye candy, and they love it. And Beyonce looked magnificent in whatever the gown that she wore. But there's some wild and crazy looking costumes. I don't call them dresses or outfits because they really are dressed up like they are at
Yep.
The Dark Knight Rises go strictly ballroom, right? It's just really, it's really full on. But the thing that made me go WTF on this is that it's just sort of so jarring that the United States, in its current circumstance, with the president taking them to a needless war, with Congress, basically, fighting each other to a standstill, getting nothing done, with the cost of living through the roof, people really struggling, and then there's this sort of, tone-deaf elite sort of gathering of people living like they are in some sort of La La Land golden gilded age. It's just so jarring that this is a thing at the same time as the rest of the country's on fire and people can't feed themselves. So I just find it's that contrast in particular this year really gave me the irrits, particularly because Jeff Bezos was the money and the finance behind this thing. And he's one of what Americans like to call the Mag 7, the Magnificent Seven tech bros who actually run the world. I find the whole thing really quite sinister. I just find it creepy as hell that these people are living this or putting on this lavish spectacle at a time when the rest of the country has got its ass out of its pants. It really does speak to the end of empire feeling of the whole place. Like it's just gone bacchanalian because what the hell, why do we bother anymore? The whole place has turned to shit. And I just found it really, really, really quite weird.
Some of the get-ups, did you see, I don't know, they had him as the best dressed man, and I don't know who he is. He's got a hair shirt, like a proper hair shirt, but it's a suit.
I got one of those, and you have to pay for it.
You need to have a look. Some of them, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, is it playing the devil's advocate, or is it for charity? Do they raise money for charity? Does the Met Gala? I mean, not that excuses it.
Just give them money. All these people have got more money than God.
Yeah.
Just give them money and put your socks and Crocs on and go to bed.
Exactly. Thank you very much for coming.
I don't know. Thank you very much for coming. I'm just I'm looking through the people who are currently listed as the best dressed men at the Met Gala, and there's some reasonably sort of demure looks out there. I loved Luke Evans starring as Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, he got out the leather pants. He went full Jenny Beth. He looks like a licorice stick with a hat.
I can't see him. I haven't found him yet.
Oh, you've got to check him out. And Bad Bunny, I love Bad Bunny too. Bad Bunny with the cane and with the frilly neck and the black suit. Oh, he looks bad. Bad Bunny looks bad. He looks great. So I'll give Bad Bunny his props.
Yeah. Anybody else? Who else? I mean, let's stick with the men.
Jay-Z looked pretty cool. Like he took a very, very trad approach with it. I did love his double-breasted waistcoat, which he looks really good. He's got the sort of the tails as well, so he looks like he's off to a really good wedding. And that's okay. Like it's making it not about him, which is great. But
some of the rap stars look pretty good too.
A$AP Rocky looked amazing with his pink chiffon long coat with tassels, which looked great in a valley on a Saturday night up there in Brisbane, Cozzy. I think he could rock that.
Nothing would actually happen to him at all.
Nothing would happen to him at all. But you're thinking of Jeremy Pope. Just Google Jeremy Pope.
Jeremy Pope, okay.
Jeremy Pope Met Gala, and tell me what you think of his extraordinary outfit, which I
love that. That's the hair shirt I was looking at. Yeah, I was talking about. That's spectacular. I'm not sure what to make of it, but it's spectacular.
He looks like someone's just stuck a whole carton full of Secretary crackers on a black shirt and just...
Well, to be honest, if he was going to do that look, Jeremy Pope, he needed to do the pants as well, mate. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit half-assed the way it is.
It's a little bit half-assed, but I think you could have gone with Connor Story's blouse. He's got a blouse on, which
I know.
which
It looks
allows him
like
to show.
he's taken his. It looks like he's got his mum's work shirt on. You know, like the uniform. I'm going to tuck shop.
He's working. He's got tuck shop arms. They are not tuck shop arms.
They're not. No, they're not tuck shop arms. They're great buys.
The only tuck shop that you go to, all they sell is amino acids and proton bars.
Oh dear.
So they're the fashion out, the looks from the Met Gala, but the whole event itself, man, oh man, you come the revolution. We've got names and we've got photos. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, look, my what the fuck has got nothing like that, mate. I was trying to work out what I was doing. I felt like this old man at Deftones on Wednesday night, and
Good show.
Couldn't for the life. Yeah, great show. But I was trying to work out, like, I was in Brisbane, as you go into the entertainment centre, they segregate the people, the GA.
The old people from
into
the young
floor.
people?
No. Well, I was with the young people standing on the floor. So as we walked in, and we're all standing, waiting to go through security and, get your pockets emptied and the metallic wand go over you, and I was standing there. I was with my daughter, who's 28, and Rebecca, and I said to her, "Where did all these young people come from? How did they know about Deftones? Because here's a band that you and I played on the radio,
yes, back
in like the late 90s, I guess, and who took the place by storm for a while, and then kind of disappeared, and then." A few not so great records, but the last 2 or 3 albums have been absolutely fantastic. But I still could not put 2 and 2 together of how these young, and I'm talking emo, from 15, 16-year-olds, through to 25-year-olds. And literally, I was the oldest person standing on the floor in the general admission section, and then I spoke to somebody, or somebody told me online that they went viral a couple of years ago on TikTok, and that's where all the young folk heard them. And what a great show! What an absolutely fantastic show! I saw them at Good Things. Sound was kind of 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was. The sound was a bit questionable. On Wednesday night, it was just an absolute cracker of a show. So
it's kind of interesting in the digital age that they sort of the timeline that we understood. The linear timeline of cultural experience has completely changed. So we would remember albums from a particular year, or even a particular summer, or a particular event that occurred, and we just share that experience together because you and I were part of that. We were the gatekeepers. We worked for Triple J, and if we played a record and went big, then everyone heard of it at that time, and it would be associated with a particular summer or an event. But these days, you can choose your own adventure so easily, and because of the way the algorithms work, if a kid listens to a record by a young contemporary artist that has, is seen to have an influence by Radiohead or the Gang of Four, then the algorithm might throw up, "Oh, try this," and they go, "Oh, that's where that comes from," or they'll hear it and go, "Oh, okay, I'll listen to that." But there isn't that stigma, not stigma, but there isn't that sense of, "Oh, but that's old music. It's just music. It doesn't belong to any other time." And I had a similar experience when I took Evie along about 6 years ago to see the Gang of Four, and we went in there, and she knew all the records, and there were all these young people there, and she said, "Oh, yeah, they're huge. Young people love the Gang of Four," and it was the same thing. It was more the algorithm was saying, "Oh, you listen to Radiohead or a Block Party, listen to this," and there was a whole gaggle of young people in front of you, all the words to the Gang of Four. So I love that element to it. It's really nice. It breaks down that barrier, and and a band like Blood Orange, who had a hit with Champagne Coast in 2011, found out in 2024 it was part of a TikTok meme, and it went into the US charts. It's happened a fair bit. Of course, Fleetwood Mac's Dreams was the big one. Remember, that became a massive meme on TikTok with that skateboard meme where people were rolling along on skateboards, miming to Dreams. Yeah. So it's kind of really, I like it. It's really playful, and it recontextualizes music for a younger audience, which is, and it's
Kate Bush second with life
running up that hill
on Stranger Things. Well, that was the first thing that I thought. I don't remember hearing the Deftones on Stranger Things, you know. But, you know, that gave her a great life again.
Yes, and much deserved as well. So well done, Deftones. Got the kids on board.
Got the kids on board. And they still rock. I mean,
I
I've got no idea how old. They'd probably be getting close to their 50s now, you'd expect, wouldn't you?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. And they were just great. Great energetic show, great light show, great projections. The projections were incredible. The sound at the entertainment centre in Brisbane, you can get, you know, it can be a bit iffy, the sound, but Tool managed to fill it, and Deftones also managed to fill it, not just with volume, but with you know, it sounded really, really good. So I was really happy with that. What else has surprised you, mate? What surprised you in the land of pop culture?
Well, Cosy, let's wind back to what I mentioned earlier on, Robert Smith singing on the Rolling Stones new album, which is coming out soon. I don't know if we need a new Rolling Stones album or not. Foreign Tongues is the name of the new Stones record. But Robert Smith was just in a London studio and doing some work. And Mick Jagger had been in the building too to record vocals for the new record. And he walked into Robert Smith and said, "Oi, aren't you Robert Smith from The Cure?" And Robert Smith said, "Yes." And said, well, seeing you here, you should come and sing on my record. And so he did, which is tell 14-year-old Francis, who was listening to Faith and Pornography and getting my post-apocalyptic Cold War gloom on, that the Stones would be singing with Robert Smith. I would have turned to a pile of ash and right in front of you. So it just got me thinking about, you know, that you never know who's going to turn up and sing with who, and who knows, it might be a delightful surprise, because we've had a few over the journey. I mean, when you first heard that Nick Cave was doing a duet with Kylie Minogue, you, like me, probably would have said, "What the fuck? How does that happen?" But we got, you know, Where the Wild Roses Grow, and that was a breakthrough for both artists, I reckon, because Nick had, up to that point, probably wrongly been just perceived as this dour sort of soothsaying doom merchant, which I, when looking back, think that a lot of his stuff was actually very humorous and funny. But then he does this playful duet with Kylie Minogue, and we suddenly get this other look at him. And of course, it made her, you know, a million times cooler than she ever was with a certain crowd. So that works really, really well.
Like sometimes. U2 and the Three Tenors.
Yes,
I was a Pavarotti, only the one tenor.
Well, was it? No, the Three Tenors. So it was the Three Tenors. I think with the Passengers, the band, remember Passengers, they made that record. And, well, that beautiful song, Miss Sarajevo, they recorded. It was beautiful. But it's a strange arrangement. Lou Reed with Metallica.
Fantastic. Yeah, but kind of weird.
Kind of weird. So even something like R.E.M. for their album In Time, the opening song, Radio Song, so about 1990-ish, that record came out. And, you know, R.E.M., the ultimate college rock band, but they invited KRS-One to do the rap in the middle of their song. And it sounds great. But, you know, it was, I like those collaborations when Public Enemy and Anthrax work together. It's great when it happens. But, yeah, Robert Smith, I guess maybe they could have just compared makeup tips.
Maybe fashion tips, because we're going back to fashion as well. Now, do you know what Robert Smith might have been wearing? Because we've both had an encounter at a Livid festival backstage with our friend Robert. So do you know what he was wearing when he met Mick Jagger? I'm glad he didn't say, "Hi, you're Robert Smith," and Robert Smith went back to him and didn't say, "Who are you?" Well, I'm hoping at some point Robert Smith someone got the jaws of life out and managed to free him from those bicycle pants he was wearing the time that we met him backstage at Livid, and he was getting around in tight bicycle shorts. It was a sight to behold, wasn't it? Let's just say that he didn't have Bradley Wiggins' legs. Didn't look like he's about to ride up, ride the mountain stages of the Tour de France, up Alpe d'Huez. Didn't look like he was ready for that. We'll give him his due. It was quite warm. It was quite a warm day, wasn't it? It was a tough day out for goths. I remember seeing Susie and the Banshees when they headlined Livid Festival at Davies Park. In the old one, it was must have been like 35 degrees that day, and the poor goths, and they were just melting under the Moreton Bay figs. Well, God love them for dying for their art. Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Great show. Great. I love those old festivals. They were fantastic. Robert stayed true to himself. He hasn't, he's still got a head full of woolly hair, and his lipstick still looks like it was applied by a drunk panda. But
good on him for doing that. And the eyeliner is still world class. So Nick had a lot to compete with. But yeah, Robert Smith and the Stones. There you go.
Looking forward to hearing that.
Are we though?
That's for sure.
I like the idea of it. I don't know if I want to hear it.
I can hear it once. I want to hear it once.
Do we need another Stones album?
Nah.
And that's okay, isn't it?
But, do you think they'll tour again?
Yeah.
Without Charlie?
Yes, they will.
Have they got a...
Absolutely.
They will?
They will. What else are they going to do?
Well, that's it. They can't suddenly become accountants, can they?
No. Well, they've got a lot of money to count, so, they've got to be a full-time
Maybe
job.
it would have been a good thing.
What about for you? What was the surprise for you this week?
Surprise for me in the last month or so, last couple of weeks, has been the fact that the Drones are getting back together.
Yeah, did they come out of the blue completely?
It did, completely. Yeah, well, I've been lucky to see, Gareth Lydiard and Fiona Kitchener, two of the members of Tropical Fuckstorm. Their latest record, Fairyland and Codex, has been an absolute cracker. I really love it. And I thought they were done and dusted, but the good news is they'll be back touring later in the year. Their shows pretty much all over the country have sold out. They're doing 3 shows at the Zoo, or what was the Zoo, the Crowbar in Brizzy, and they're doing 3 and 4 shows everywhere around the place. So the good thing is they're smaller shows, so that'll be good. I'm going to go to a couple of them. I was lucky enough to see Tropical Fuckstorm at Z50, which is one of the shows last year celebrating 4 Triple Z's 50th year on radio. Triple Z, if you don't know, is one of the longest running community radio stations in Australia, if not the longest. It was an amazing lineup. The Saints, 73 to 78, headlining Regurgitator, Full Flower Moon Band. That's another Brizzy act everyone should be having a look out for. Full Flower Moon Band supported the Foo Fighters in Tassie a little while ago and got rave reviews there, and they scored the support for the Queensland leg of the Foo Fighters. I think they're playing later on this year. And I had managed to miss TFS every other time they toured. I really dig Fairyland Codex, though. It just gave me that same feeling when you're listening to a Drones record. 1 minute it's this gentle, almost lullaby kind of thing, and then the next minute it feels like an out-of-tune grand piano rolling down a hill and coming straight at you. That's on record, and live it's even more visual and more dangerous.
Yeah, Lydiard is absolutely electrifying live. I mean, the band out there, but he's got that certain charisma about him that it makes him utterly compelling on stage. He's something to behold in full flight.
Yeah, incredible. With the Drones and with TFS. Really looking forward to seeing the Drones. I'm going to go to 2 of the 3 nights playing at Crowbar in Brisbane because, I can.
Yeah, in your Crocs and your socks.
In my Crocs and my socks. And that brings us back to where is the danger in today's music?
Well, it will be at the Drones gig if you're there.
All right, mate. Well, have you got anything more to add for the Grumpy Jukebox today?
Not really, but it's been great doing it. Shall we do it again sometime?
I think we should do it again. Don't forget to come along to thebreakdown.net where you can hear Grumpy Jukebox, Francis Leach and I just, shooting the breeze, talking shit, having fun. Thanks, mate.
See you, Cozzy.